up, everybody, and welcome back to A Beer a Day with TK. It's Thursday evening here in Findlay, Ohio. I'm hanging out in the beer shed, getting ready to have a beer. I'm filming a little later than I usually do today. I had to go up to BG, Bowling Green. My son had to do his freshman orientation for college, and it was long and kind of drawn out. And I think most of that stuff probably could have been covered in an email, but you know what it's like with administrators. They like to hear their own voices, I guess. So we got to listen to a couple of hours worth of kind of the same thing. Now, the good side of going up to BG was that I got to run through Bowling Green Beer Works and grab a beer, check off another one of the locations on the 419 Ale Trail. Now, when I came home, I've had this in the fridge since yesterday, getting cold. This Busch Light Apple is a beer that I really didn't know that much about, but it seems to be kind of the stuff of urban legend. I remember maybe a year ago, I'd seen the Malted Gentleman did a Busch Light Apple review, and I really didn't think much of it. I thought maybe it was something that was only available in Iowa or out, out where he's at, and hadn't really given it a second thought in over a year. Then yesterday, my wife's colleague from work, Bryce, said that her and her husband, Austin, were looking for this. Did I know where it was? And I thought, that's odd. I had actually just seen it pop up on social media. There's two different beer shops I like to go to, one in Bowling Green, BG Beverage Center, and one in Bluffton called Kibbee's, and both of them had posted this beer on their social media, and I thought, that's kind of strange. Why would you be posting kind of Busch Light? You think it would be ubiquitous. It's everywhere. Everybody has this. And then it kind of hit me, maybe this one isn't, right? I mean, I'd never seen it on the shelves before. People are inquiring, where can you get it? I also noticed on the social media, they're kind of saying, you only get one, first come, first served, all this stuff. So I thought, I better get in the car and go pick some up. So my wife and I drove out to Bluffton. It's probably about 20 miles or so. Went in, and luckily they had some left. I picked up a 12-pack. My wife got a 12-pack, and I think there was 3 left. 3 people came in immediately after us and picked them up, and they were all gone. I was talking to the folks that work there, and they said they had 30 packs, and I guess they went really quick. The stuff basically sold out in a day, which, kind of led me to think, what's going on here? Why is Busch all of a sudden putting out some kind of beer that's a hot commodity? So I figured definitely got to give this a shot. Now, I did a review on regular old Busch Light. I don't remember when, a few months back, and kind of reached a conclusion. I didn't think it was bad, but it's not something that I would regularly drink. So I'm kind of interested to see what this does. Now, I have had, the only apple beer I think that I've really had is that Red's Apple Ale. And I can't say that I really care for that. I think it's a little bit too sweet for my liking. I'm hoping that this isn't quite as sweet as something like that. Now, I did a little research. It's interesting. I said there was a Bud Light apple, too. I've never seen that one either. So, if any of the viewers have had that, let me know what you think of that. All right, let's give this a shot. This here comes in at 4.1% ABV, so obviously rather light. Seems like a decent summer beer at that ABV. I couldn't find any info on the IBUs, so I'm going to assume it's, quite low. If you've had the regular Busch Light, it's not a whole lot going on in the hops department, so I don't expect it to be too hoppy. Now, this is made by Anheuser-Busch out of St. Louis, Missouri. Kind of see on the can there, limited edition Busch Light Apple. Surprisingly, this gets pretty good reviews. On Untapped, it had a 3.39 with over 11,000 check-ins. On Beer Advocate, and this is the one that surprised me. Usually Untapped, if a beer is popular and people like it, it gets good reviews. A lot of people use Untapped. Now, Beer Advocate, I think, is kind of more for people that are really going to take some time and write up reviews, right? Untapped is easiest. Take a picture, click how many stars, and you're done. Beer Advocate takes some time. You got to write this up and go through all the different kind of categories of how you're rating it. You don't have to, but people do. Even there, it had a 3.46, an overall rating of 75, which was okay, which kind of surprised me. I thought the beer snobs there would roast it regardless of whether or not, it's actually good or not. And that's a tough part, right? I mean, reality is this. Look, there are some beers that are not that great, some beers that are really good, but I do think a lot of people like beers or dislike them simply on the label alone. And I try not to do that. There are some beers, look, man, you could fancy up Steel Reserve however you want. I'm not going to dig that. But, there are beers from breweries that I quite like that I've said I'm not a fan of 1 or 2 of their beers over the years. So let's give this one a shot. You can smell the apple right away, right as soon as you open the can. Huh. That's kind of like maybe like a sour apple smell. I was afraid it would be like a cloyingly sweet apple, and this kind of smells more like Granny Smith apples or green apples or something like that. Not a bad smell. As far as the color, obviously clear light yellow. It's Busch Light head. Not a whole lot going on there. Probably had about a half of a finger's worth of kind of, thin white head. Looks fairly carbonated. Got a fair amount of bubbles running around in there. Like I said, nose, sweet apple Jolly Rancher is what it smells like. The sour apple Jolly Rancher, sorry. Yeah, so that's not a bad smell. Let's give it a shot. Cheers. Apple Jolly Rancher. It's essentially what it is. It's kind of interesting. The smelled a little more tart, like a Granny Smith apple. When you drink it, there's definitely some tartness to it, but it's not quite as tart as maybe the nose would lead you to believe. Obviously, light bodied. It's Busch Light. Busch Light with some apple, right? So it still kind of have the texture and relative thinness of Busch Light. As far as taste, it's actually not that bad. Better than I thought it would be. Now here's kind of the catch. Because this does kind of have that candy taste to it, what I kind of associate with kind of like the sour apple Jolly Rancher, I don't know if I could drink a bunch of these. So I don't know if I'd be sitting down and polishing off 12 of these. Now you could easily do it if they're 4.1%, right? The ABV's low enough. But I don't know if that apple would kind of get on my nerves after 2 or 3 or 4 of them. But that being said, one, no problem. I could drink this. I'm kind of surprised. I didn't think that I would like it. Yeah, you know what? It still has that thing. When you drink Busch Light, I think it kind of has like a grainy taste to it, which isn't necessarily bad, but it's kind of somewhat distinct, I think, from some of the other light beers that you might have, like a Coors Light or a Bud Light or Miller Light. But I actually don't mind it. I'm quite surprised. Now, here's the other interesting bit. I don't know if any of you have had this at the shops where you're at, and they've been limited supplies. I took this picture. This was on the door of one of the shops I go to. I'll post a photo of it there somewhere if I can at the end of the video. 1 Busch Light apple product per customer while supplies last. You get what you get, and you don't throw a fit. When I saw that, I knew they meant business, right? I better grab this up, or there won't be any more. And I grabbed what I got. I got what I got, and I didn't throw a fit. So, all in all, I would say this Busch Light apple, I'm really surprised, but you would get a thumbs up. I would drink another one of these. If you liked the video, please give me a thumbs up, hit that like button. If you want to see more videos like this, please hit subscribe. And as always, you got any comments or questions, jump in down below. If you had Busch Light apple, let me know what you think of it. If you've had some of the other apple beers, like that Red's Apple Ale or the Bud Light apple that I didn't know was around, let me know how you think this stacks up compared to them. Hey, have a wonderful week. Cheers.